Good morning and welcome back to Spurs Latest. My name is Trip Graham and I'm so happy to have you here today. Well, let's get it started. The Spurs won a 111 to 99 to the Rockets last night. In a grueling game, we finally got our lick back on the Rockets after their loss last week. Let's get into it. Going into this game, we were 1-1 versus the Rockets into the season. This kind of was a game of, do we get right from the Pelicans' loss, or was the Pelicans' bad loss a sign of shifts that needed to come? So we found that out last night, and we did great. San Antonio had dropped two of its past three after winning three straight coming into the game last night. And it was pretty. Just looking at Vegas, the lines were pretty even. The Spurs were plus 125 going to the game, Rockets minus 155. So let's start off in the game. The Rockets really took advantage of our low post defense in that first half. They were killing us. Sengun is a mini Jokic. He is definitely going to get the All-Star nod along with Kevin Durant, and that team is really special. I could pray for a 7-game series between these two teams, and I really hope it does happen because these two teams are so evenly matched. They complement each other so much on the court, and I'd really love a 7-game series between these two teams. Some other notes going into the game. Wemby was only 6 for the last 25 for his last threes entering this game. This comes after last week where Kevin Durant was critical of his shooting from the outside. Kevin Durant was saying that these young Bucks, his shooting's not there yet, but it's developing. So Wemby took that to heart last night. He had a great, efficient game from three and inside. So great game from Wemby. He had huge block on Durant as that time expired. Some other notes from the game. Wemby just proves to be a human highlight reel, doing alley-oop dunks every other possession. Stephon Castle really stepped back into that role of the three-point shooting. And Sengun, he is just killing it. It makes those crazy over-the-head shots. Over the head passes. Gets really, really efficient shots in the paint. Footwork is incredible. Really, really fun game. Through the first three quarters, we couldn't get much going. The Rockets started off that game. They didn't miss a shot for the first 6 minutes of the game. They were just on a tear. But we held in there. As the fourth quarter came around, we had outled them by 6 in the third and over 15 in the fourth. We became too much for the Rockets to handle. Ben Thompson, great defender, but he wasn't able to do it for the Rockets last night. Just a great all-around team game. Champagnie is proving to himself that he is the three-point threat of our team. Great game from him. Even Fox was even hitting some threes in that game. Really fun game all around. And we finally got our lick back. We are up 2-1 on the Rockets for the season. They match up really well against us. And this is a team that we have to look forward to beat. All right, well, let's get into the NBA drama of today. The trade deadline is 1 week from today. Let's get it started. Oh, great. Is Sohan on his way out? Big news last night. He was held out of the lineup. This could be a sign that they are looking to trade him. They said he was questionable with a small injury. Really don't believe that, that they are shopping him around. And it's really sad that he showed so much great process with us early on. He's fizzled out of the lineup with Mitch this season. But you really can't question a team that is just hitting it a new level in their offense. There is going to be players like this. Everyone doesn't get a seat at the table. And now we are trying to upgrade him. So where are we upgrading him, guys? Let's talk a few different routes. Okay, so obviously the number one route is going to be Trey Murphy. Trey Murphy, they announced that he is going to be requiring a huge trade package, the Pelicans said. That's the reports that are getting out. His trade package is going to be probably like 3 first-round picks and a star young player. Is Sohan that young player that they're willing to take on? I don't know. I don't think so. I think they're looking for a little bigger of a player than Sohan. Sohan really could carve out a great place for him in this league. We just don't know yet. He is so young. Obviously, it didn't work out with him and us, but that's okay. I do believe that he's a player that's going to reinvent himself. I really do think back to the Derek White trade. We did really well by Derek White. We traded him to a contender. He won a championship, and he's thriving in Boston. I think Sohan could, minus the championship, I want that for us. I think Sohan could be really a great contender, player for a contender. Really exciting player, and I think he's going to do great in this league. So other players that I'm looking out for, obviously Trey Murphy III. I'm looking at Keon Ellis, and then also, Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. has just been going around in the news of is he on his way out or not. Obviously, the Brooklyn should take a good package for him. He needs at least probably 2 first-round picks to get something out of him. Obviously, injury-prone for his career, but some team that is a contender just like us is going to take that risk, and I think they really need to. All right, let's get into other trade rumor news. So the biggest thing that came out of yesterday was Giannis reports that he's ready for a new home. What does that mean? Is that request of a trade? I feel like we've had like 3 or 4 reports from Giannis's camp looking for this, that he would be ready for a new home. He never says that he's officially requesting a trade, but it's just along those lines. So obviously they said, either trade deadline or after the season. Obviously Giannis wants to compete now. I wouldn't be surprised if he is moved by next week. I believe that there's some teams that are looking at him are the Knicks. It would take Karl Anthony Towns, definitely. Timberwolves will take a huge draft package from the Timberwolves. Other teams, Knicks, and then us. I mean, could we be trading for us? Then there was reports last night. I'm not getting too much into this, but there was reports last night that the Spurs were not interested in Giannis. I don't really know where this comes from. It would probably take a Stephon Castle or a Dylan Harper, plus a plethora of first-round picks to steal Giannis from the Bucks. I know what it would take, and I don't know if we could not get Giannis without blowing up that young core. We do have other young core that we could keep together. It's just, it looks like it would be a Castle or a Harper that it would take to get him. But other players from the Bucks that we might be looking at is Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis would literally fit right into our offense. I could see him subbing into that Harrison Barnes role, back up for Champagnie. Very great offensive player, good 3-point shooter, and solid on D. Solid player on D. All right, other players looking around the league. I mean, where do we start? Jimmy Butler, John Morant, Jonathan Kuminga, Dalton Connect, Paolo. I mean, just everything's going on. But I loved the quote I saw the other day. It was to make a demand, you need to have a demand. And that's where I think about Jonathan Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga is one of these interesting players. He's not an all-star. I don't even know if he's a borderline all-star. But his camp treats him as an MVP. And how I've seen Jonathan Kuminga in the media for the last year, you would swear that he is putting up 30 points a season. And, getting all NBA selections. He's not. But he is a really solid, I see him as a solid role player for a contender. Could be a home for the Spurs. I don't know. I think that he is overrated. I do. But, the market tells you what he's worth. And to make a demand, you must have a demand. So let's see how that plays out for Jonathan Kuminga. Some other things. John Morant is on the trade deadline, even though he is injured with an ankle injury. They might be blowing it up in Memphis. Jaren Jackson might be on his way out. John Morant might be on his way out. We got to see. Other things is that the Warriors said they would be willing to trade Jimmy Butler if they were able to get Giannis. Then the report comes right after that the Bucks have no interest in Jimmy Butler, so I don't know how that one is playing out. There's so many rumors going out. Other ones, just a great 3-point shooter. After the disaster last season of Dalton Connect getting traded and then the trade getting rescinded. Well, Dalton Connect is back on the trade market. Let's see how that plays out. Great 3-point shooter. Any contender would love that. I think his role in Lakers is very limited. I think that he is worth a lot more than they are playing him. And let's see how that one plays out. And then there was just these weird reports that Paolo might be unhappy in with the Magic. Don't know where that comes from. Definitely want to see how that one plays out. They have such a good young core. Maybe it's a Paolo management thing, but don't know yet. Let's see about that one. All right. Well, I do have other things I want to talk about. Just the Rising Stars game. So really, really exciting. It got announced that Harper and Castle will be teaming on Team Mello of the Rising Stars. They had a draft the other night between Team Mello, Carmelo Anthony, Vince Carter, and then T Mac. The team four, Stephon Castle and Team Mello. It will be. Let's go through the team: Cooper Flag, Reed Shepard, Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, Jeremiah Fierce, Donovan Clingan, and Colin Murray Boyles. They're absolutely the team to beat. The other, star players for Team Mac is Colin Knipple, Trey Johnson, Alex Sarr, and then Team Vince, VJ Edgecombe, Derek Queen, and Kashawn George. So great teams all around. I do believe that we have the edge of depth. So let's see how that game plays out. Really excited to watch that game coming up. And then David Jones Garcia will be on Team Austin, Austin Rivers, as representing the G League. G League team will have a team this year, so really exciting to see. Colin Knipple, just really, really balling this season with the Charlotte Hornets. I would definitely see him as being the rookie of the year so far and just carrying that surging Hornets team. Let's see where they go. I don't think they have high of a ceiling, but players like Colin Knipple having that three-point shooting, really exciting young player, and I love to see how his career turns out. I believe that he is going to be, he gives me so reminders of my childhood in Kyle Korver. That kind of three-point efficiency that it feels like he's shooting 7 to 10 threes a game. Really fun player. Could see, 4 or 5 Knipples in the NBA in 10 years with all those brothers, the Knipple brothers. So let's see them. All right, so let's move on and let's talk some Sixth Man of the Year. After a great performance by Keldon Johnson last night, Keldon Johnson, Keldon Johnson is obviously not our number one offensive player anymore. Wemby obviously is, De'Aaron Fox. He spent several seasons in San Antonio being as our Spurs starter, but now comes off the bench and since we acquired De'Aaron Fox. And he's doing great. He's the only reserve with 600 plus points with over 55% field goal shooting this year. He's averaged 22 in the past seasons, and now he's bringing that point average down to 13.4, but he is absolutely the favorite to win NBA Sixth Man of the Year. And along with that, I just wanted to look at some of the odds for Sixth Man of the Year. So Keldon Johnson started off the season at plus 6,000 to win the Sixth Man of the Year. He is now at plus 300. The coaching decision to put him sixth man off the bench and put him in these critical positions at the end of the game to set him up for the victory is definitely working. Other players that are in that sixth man the race definitely would be Reed Shepard on the Rockets last night. Great young talent. He was also plus 3,000 to start the season and now plus 900. Just really shows great coaching decisions made by the Mitch and Ime Udoka over on the Rockets. Other players that are looking to get nods for Sixth Man of the Year, Jamie Hawkins Jr. on the Heat, another exciting young player. And then obviously Naz Reid on the Timberwolves. He was the betting favorite coming into the season to win Sixth Man of the Year. And now he's also plus 300 with Keldon Johnson. After last night's win and after the Rockets, I would definitely put Keldon Johnson as that number one player to win Sixth Man of the Year. Really great, exciting player. I would absolutely put him on the untouchables on the trade deadline. Going into this, Keldon Johnson is absolutely a Sixth Man of the Year candidate, and it would be great to bring that back to San Antonio. It would feel like bringing back those Manu Ginobili vibes of having that key six-man player coming off the bench. And I just want to give a shout out to happy birthday, Greg Popovich. His birthday was yesterday. 5-time NBA champion, all-time winningest coach, and 3-time coach of the year. Happy birthday, Greg Popovich. Well, that's all I have here today for Spurs Latest, and I will catch you in the next one. Thank you so much. I'm Trip Graham. This is Spurs Latest. Thank you so much.